Good evening and welcome to ABC News and Minja Hui. We are coming to you with breaking news. An unidentified disease has been reported in the XYZ hospital. It started with a worker from TPO Deer Farm of UPM in Seri Kebangan, Selangor, who showed high fever, and the disease eventually resulted in the death of the worker. Several patients with similar symptoms have been reported admitting in the same hospital too. Shortly, we will be going live with Dr. Chang from XYZ Hospital. Let's look at what is happening. Welcome, Dr. Chang, and thank you so much for joining us today. We would like to hear from you about a fatal disease involving several people who live nearby TPO Deer Farm.
Thank you for having me today. Our hospital has received several patients with similar clinical signs including high fever, body aches, sore throats, severe confusion, drowsy, and disoriented. They were found to be very ill and death was reported within 2 weeks. We are now collecting info, taking history from the family members of the patients and investigating whether they have previous contact with the deer farm worker or not. Since the disease is suspected to be infectious, patients with similar clinical signs are now isolated to prevent the disease from spreading. We have notified Ministries of Health and contact tracking is being conducted now. For your information, a special team has been sent to the farm for further investigation. I'd like to advise the public, especially those who live nearby the deer farm, to wash their hands more frequently and avoid unnecessary contact with other people. Thank you.
This is ABC News, and we're back regarding a very deadly virus that has been spreading and caused a few deaths in the past 2 weeks. According to the reports, it has been found that all the patients who had similar clinical signs and died due to this virus live nearby the particular deer farm of TPO UPM. So, joining us today, Mr. Kawski, the farm manager, to explain more on what exactly happened in the farm.
Good morning and thank you for having me. Yes, many people here, especially my fellow workers, are very nervous here since the number of infected people I heard exploded over the weekend. What is more confusing is that when our farm here, as you can see, always well managed, like our deers are given anti-helminthic and always given thick medications. But because our farm here, as you can see, that it's surrounded by orchards. So recently, what we saw a lot of fruit bats coming here and a lot of sudden large number of wild boar dying. As you can see here, there's one here also. The wild boars here showed convulsion, seizure, and breathing difficulties. Then we called the veterinary officers. They came also. They were wearing all this PPE and they did all the post-mortem and they brought back to lab. That's all happened here, basically, in this farm. Thank you.
Welcome back to ABC News. I am Mulay and I'll be bringing you the updates about the deadly virus that has been haunting us for the past few weeks. With the increasing number of people getting infected with this deadly virus, authorities are doing their part to identify the viral agent. For today, we have one of the authority, Mr. Irfan, here with us today. Mr. Irfan, can you update us regarding the virus?
Thank you for having me. We have processed some lungs and brain samples collected from the infected wild boar and have successfully identified the viral growth 5 days after post-inoculation. The brains and the lung samples are also being observed under electron microscope and they show helical envelope virus structure. In order to find out the exact viral agent, we carried out an IHC test with anti-hannipavirus antibodies and the results came back positive. Hence, we can confirm that this disease is actually caused by the virus known as hannipavirus. There are also other laboratory tests that can be carried out for the diagnosis of hannipavirus, including real-time polymerase chain reaction, RT-PCR, and also another one is the ELISA test. Hannipavirus can be transmitted to humans from animals such as bats or even pigs, or even contaminated foods can also be transmitted directly from human to another human. However, there is no specific antiviral treatment for hannipavirus. Usually, treatments or therapies are in the form of supportive care or management of complications.
Thank you, Mr. Irfan. Here's an update regarding the hepativirus that has been infecting more and more people. With the number of confirmed cases rising sharply, the government has just declared the virus outbreak as a national crisis. But how are the responses of government agencies to put an end to this outbreak? Here with us today is Ms. Farah from DBS to give further details about the outbreak.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And I'm sure everyone is well aware that the virus can infect animals as well. And the Department of Veterinary Services, we have done the disposal of the infected animals in the most humane way to ensure that the welfare of the animals are still being maintained. And we have the Department of Wildlife and National Parks conducting investigation to determine the origin of the virus. And Ministry of Health is also involved. They've started intensive health education throughout mass media and television to educate the public regarding the virus and how to prevent it. And all in all, the public, especially farm workers and abattoir workers, are encouraged or are advised to maintain their hygiene to prevent further transmission of the disease.
Thank you, Ms. Farah. I believe that the government is taking every measure necessary to safeguard people's lives. That's it for today. I am Mulay and I'll catch you next time in ABC News.